do you have any tips on foreshadowing well, on foreshadowing enough?
First tip is I've found that you can be more heavy-handed than you think. Most of us, and first try-through, are actually too subtle. I learned these things, by the way, Travis, thank you. I learned these things by giving my pieces to my writing group, people I trust, seeing what they pick up on and what they guess and what they don't. And it's a process of trial and error. How do they respond? What do they figure out? And overall, I found that I need more than my first instincts say that I need. That may not be true for every one of you, but for me, it's proven true. The other thing is to be aware that all readers are going to be in a different place regarding foreshadowing, meaning some like to rip apart a text and think very analytically, and they are very, very hard to fool. And that's just a fact of life. Others willingly suspend their disbelief and want to believe like the characters do so that their mind doesn't spoil the ending for them as they go. And there's everyone in between. And so you can't fool all the people all the time, so it goes. You're looking to have a satisfying experience for the readers. And so I generally put in a wide range of different things to be discovered, some things that are fairly simple, some things that are layered several deep, and that helps with the foreshadowing in that the very deep ones, oftentimes the really analytical people will actually stop looking because they think they've figured it out. And they have figured out some things, and that's good. But then there'll still be a few things to surprise them. But if everything is so 17 layers deep, then those who don't want to spend time figuring things out are going to feel like your story is just one surprise after another, and that can get grueling. That can actually be a bad thing. So I try to layer them and put a variety of different things to be discovered.
How do you maintain a good working relationship with your editor and agent, and vice versa?
The way to maintain a good working relationship with your editor is to have an agent whose job it is to be the bad guy or girl in a lot of those situations. They're professionals. They know how to maintain a good relationship. It's not something you have to worry about terribly much. But an agent, one of the reasons to have an agent is so that they can go play hardball when you need hardball played, and it doesn't then force you to do it. So that's one good aspect of it. Keeping a good relationship with your agent, there shouldn't be, that shouldn't be a major concern for you, because in a good agent-author relationship, you are their client. That's like saying, how do I keep a good relationship with my attorney? Well, their job is to, they don't work for you. They do, but it's not the I hire you, it's the I'm your client sort of relationship. And, agents, all the ones I've met are very professional at doing that. If you have an agent who isn't, then they're probably not a great agent. And that's something to look askance at. They're very good at maintaining a professional relationship. One thing to keep in mind, as I said before, is that you should look to be in the driver's seat. Take advice from your agent, but don't just do everything your agent says. And it should be presented to you as advice. This is what I would do with you having the final say. Because you are in charge of your properties. You're in charge of your stories, and they are, like an attorney, someone who works and stays on retainer in order to give you advice in the field. Yeah?
Kind of on a similar vein as that, with a particular emphasis in pen names.
Okay.
Before you have an agent, I'm almost viewing them as like a lawyer in a sense, because they know the contracts.
Yeah.
Before you're published, before you have an agent, do you need to go to a lawyer to get an official pen name, or is that just something that when you submit something, then you can just make up a pen name right there and then?
9 times out of 10, you should not use a pen name. It is something that newer writers think about a lot. That all the professionals I've talked to say there are very few good reasons. Okay, There are lots of okay reasons, but there are very few good reasons to use a pen name. And the conventional wisdom is don't stress it, and you probably don't want to use one. The good reasons to use a pen name, did we talk about this? If your name is the same as a famous person's name, you want a pen name. If your name is something embarrassing, you want a pen name. Otherwise, you usually don't. And so if you really want to use one, it's not a big deal, but you don't trademark a pen name usually. I mean, you can trademark your name if you really feel like it, but you need to be publishing on a very large scale level that you would be worried that people would be using your name to endorse products in order to generate sales. And until you hit a certain level of fame, your name is not going to be worth anything, and it would be detrimental for someone to try and use your name to endorse their product because everyone's going to say, who? And so I would not worry about that at all. I mean, you submit to the agent under your own name, submit to editors under your own name. When and if you sell something, if you really want a pen name, go for it. And once you hit, if you're hitting #1 consistently on the bestseller list, then think about trademarking. I don't have my name trademarked. We are trademarking Mistborn, but not my name. There's really no reason to. J.K. Rowling does have her name trademarked, so that her name can't be used to endorse products. You know, it shouldn't be anyway, because there is common law trademark sort of ideas. But just for her, it's better to have that trademark protection. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start this with an example because I don't know how to phrase it.
Okay.
But like for example, in Mistborn, I feel like a lot of your key players, or most of them, had abilities. But then I never had the sense, like the confusion that not everyone had abilities. I feel like in mine, I feel like sometimes people will be confused about really how prevalent it is.
How
do you do that
prevalent.
when all the main characters.
Right.
It's
No,
like
that.
almost no one except all these people.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you do that?
Yeah. No, that's actually a fairly legitimate question that runs up often. How rare can it be when everybody you meet is doing it? In Mistborn, I did it by making sure that there was one high-level profile member of the crew who didn't have any of the powers. That was one. I did that intentionally so that we would say, look, not everybody has these, but it really is a trick. I mean, you don't go, you know, you can watch a movie like X-Men and say, yeah, most everybody's normal, but the X-Men all have powers and we're fine with it. How do you convey that? World building, I would guess. You know, early on, you know, I have, in Mistborn, I did it with a scene where Kelsier is first introducing Vin to the magic, and he explains how rare it is. I'm using a Watson character in that case. A Watson character is one who is not familiar with what's going on, and that can therefore have it explained to them. And you'll find this very commonly used as a literary device. That's what I do there. This is how rare it is. You're even more rare than that. There aren't very many of these around. Reader, take that for accepted, even though everybody you're going to meet is one of these. And you just got to get your readers to suspend their disbelief on that. That's a pretty legit problem so that you've noticed. It happens, and it's kind of tough to figure out. But I do think it's something you can fix in tweaking. Okay. So, all right, back there.
Well, that and in Mistborn, you had like a reason why everyone had those powers, because he was kind of gathering a group
Yeah.
of people. So I think as long as you have like a reason why everyone.
Right. Same with X-Men. Xavier is gathering these gifted youngsters. Is that what it's called? And putting them together. So yeah.